Courtney, how you going? I'm just setting up my other camera to go live on YouTube as well. We're gonna talk about fasting while I experiment on um, this live thing on both YouTube and Instagram together. So pardon me if some things are not quite there. Hello. If you have any questions, have you ever fasted? Just if you have a question, just drop it in here. It's all about fasting today. Orientation is locked. Rotate device back on. Okay. Looks like I have to. Okay, I have to be in this orientation. Actually, playing around with this thing here. So give me 1 second. Hey, Elise, how you going? All right, so there's nobody on YouTube. So this is actually first experiment on Instagram. So I'm gonna have Instagram and YouTube running together and see what this experience is like. All right, guys. So basically, over the past maybe 2-3 weeks, I've been experimenting with YouTube. It's been kind of fun. So at some point, I ran into this thing called Live. I've always knew this existed, but never really tried it or anything like this. And this has been a pretty cool experience. So now what I found that getting on the camera and just talking is much easier than actually creating a video, editing, and things like this. And it also is a good practice for communication, etc., etc. Not something that I need a huge amount, but doing it live, having the technologies ready and everything, something that I do need. So yesterday I did a 1 hour long live session where I basically talked about my current experience of fasting. It's something that I do. Maybe some of you might know, some of my close friends that you might already know. Some of you might have no idea. Hey, Bianca. It's cool to have you guys here. Actually, this is also running simultaneously on YouTube, on my channel. So Bappy Golder on YouTube, if you guys have YouTube. But this is the first time I wanted to try out Instagram as well. So anyhow, I'm going to give you guys a quick live update of what's happening right now, last couple of days. And then I'm going to share with you my experience with fasting and the benefits that I've experienced. Hopefully, we should be able to cover 10 or 15 ideas. In the meantime, if you have questions, feel free to just ask. And I will hopefully be able to continue talking about this. So we also have here Karan. So hey, Karan, welcome. So I'll probably... Karan's vlog. Chup, chup, hello. Okay, so something. Anyhow, so I will just be answering you guys while I talk about fasting. So, okay, so guys, I have been doing fasting for many years. It'll be over 5 or 6 years now, and it actually started off as a lazy practice. I was lazy on Saturdays. Kept eating my meal later and later, and at some point I thought, well, this might be a challenge. How long can I try it without eating? How can I sustain myself without eating? And eventually it became a 1 day thing, and then I started doing a bit of research. Is it going to hurt me or anything like this? And found out it was a very common thing. It was a very common practice. Someone's asking me to say speak in Hindi. Torah. I don't know. I don't speak Hindi, guys. Sorry. Bangla, okay. Yesterday I did this whole session, similar session on Bangla, in Bangla, completely. So this thing that right now, what I'm doing is I'm embracing communication both in English and in Bangla. But this one's going to be all in English. So what I was saying is that, so anyhow, that's how it started. That's how the journey of my fasting started. And then I think the first big break was when I actually just stayed in a fasted state for about a whole day. That was really powerful. And what I found is that every time I would fast, I'd have a sharp mental acuity. Like I would understand things better. I would focus on things better. I would have a lot more energy, etc., etc. So that was kind of fun, and that's how I got hooked on fasting. So so I started studying this a little bit, and I actually enjoyed the clarity, the benefit. And at that time, I was on a couple of jobs together, running multiple businesses later on. So what happened is I thought, well, this is great. For a whole day, I don't have to worry about eating. I don't have to worry about cleaning. I don't have to you worry about washing, going to the washroom, like, things like this. It's fantastic. So I embraced that, and that's how it sort of continued for a couple of years. And then there was a point of time when I had some inflammation in my body. My lymph node was swollen and things like this. And I thought, well, maybe I can try fasting. So I did a bit of an internet research, got into it, and realized that, yeah, fasting does help. And I did, not eat for a couple of days, and similar things happened again. Interestingly, it never really repeated. So that happened again another time. And what I did is I just fasted for a couple of days and eventually for 3 days. And I thought, yeah, it did kind of made me feel a little bit lighter, and it really didn't hurt. For those of you who have absolute zero experience with fasting, let me tell you, the first day is hard. After that, it's easy. So right now, I'm at a 3-day fasting, 3-day in a fasted mode, basically. So it's my third day in fasting today. So I'll tell you more about my practice, etc. in a bit. Let me tell you the backstory. And for those of you who are joining new here, guys, I'm just experimenting with live today on Instagram and on YouTube together. So every day I do a live, I try to do something new, something different, and experimenting. Because right now I'm experimenting with YouTube. So as a topic, we've chosen fasting because that's what I'm going through right now. And I thought this is a great topic to learn and talk about for those of you who might not have heard about this before. So anyhow, what I was saying is that, so 3 days was my maximum, and that's how I've kind of done it for 2-3 years. And then there was one point in time while I was in Sydney, Surrey Hills, I thought I want to push myself. I don't remember exactly why I wanted to do it, but I just wanted to do it for 4 days. I decided that I was going to do fasting for 4 days. Now that was probably the biggest milestone, because at that point I thought I needed to prepare a little bit more, and I thought, oh, this is a big deal. Maybe I've never done it. Maybe it's going to hurt my body, blah, blah. But then I did a bit of a YouTube and very quickly I was humbled to know that, well, this is very common. People fast for 7 days, 10 days. It's very, very normal. And it's not that big of a deal. So what I did that, Imran Ahmed. Hi, Imran. How are you going? So what I did is I did my 4-day fast. But what was incredible, it was not the fast, it was the experience it was a feeling that I had after the 4th day that really changed me, and I had a much greater appreciation, because very rarely a very small portion of people do actually fast for that long. And I had some incredible experience. So first of all, after the third day, you don't feel like you have to eat. So right now I'm on my 3rd day of fasting. So again, this is a practice that I do every year. In the beginning of the year, I try to fast for anywhere from 3 to 10 days. The maximum I did was 10 days. 10 days in a row. I was in a nice environment. I didn't have any pressure, no work, nothing, and I did it for 10 days. But I did 7 days, 4 days. 4 days is most common. So this year, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm going to go for 4 days of fast. So what happens on the first day, you feel a little bit hungry because your body is used to eating. All of a sudden you're stopping, so it's a little hungry. But one thing you have to make sure is you have to drink water. So whenever I feel hungry, I just drink water. In fact, I'm probably drinking a lot during this session here as well. And so on that note, by the way, I will zigzag on many ideas because I haven't really scripted this whole thing. So I will zigzag. Sometimes I'll be looking at this camera, sometimes I'll be looking at this camera, but it's a whole thing. It's the same thing. So talking about that 4th day, first of all, I was so calm, so peaceful. On the second day, you have a little bit of craving for food. If you smell something nice, you feel like you start to have ideas about, I'm going to try this, after I finish my fast, you get everything, simple things becomes interesting and cool. After the 3rd day, right now, I'm on a 3rd day. On the 3rd day of fast, what happens is, at least for me, this is my experience. I'm just sharing my experience, guys. I'm not a healthcare practitioner or anything like this. I'm simply just sharing with you guys my experience. So do your own research for your own thing. That's just a disclaimer. This is not a medical advice. It's just me sharing my experience of fasting. And if some of you find some of this helpful, great. If not, you can ask questions, etc. So on the 4th day, what happened is I was extremely calm. By the way, you gradually become calmer and calmer because our body is in constant stress trying to get rid of toxin. Because when we eat food, there's lots of toxin, right? So we get a lot of toxin. We get a lot of chemicals, things like this. Also, the food itself, to digest the food, the meat, all of those, body needs a lot of working. It is very, it's to convert that food into energy and all that sort of stuff. It's difficult. It's a big process, big long process. Water and mixed chemicals. Just imagine this. Just imagine if we had to do it with our hands, but our body is magical. It does it. Somehow it just cleans all of this up, gets the energy, gets the nutrients, and it also gets all the chemical, deals with all that. So we become tired, especially if you have a lot of carbohydrate and things like this. We become tired after we eat, or a lot of meat, carbohydrate, etc. But when we don't have any of those, our body gets a rest. It's a resting season, so it's amazing for our body. So anyhow, on the fourth day, I was really surprised. Even some of my bad habits felt like something that I don't want to do. Whether it was food, whether it was something with mindset, I just got this extreme level of clarity, calm and peacefulness. That was incredible. So that's where that was the first time it became a thing that I said, okay, I'm gonna do it every year. Yeah, by the way, I now remember it was one of the years. So every year, in the beginning of the year, I would just push myself for another extra day, and another extra day. Hi, I can't see very clearly who is joining, but hi everybody, whoever is joining. So the fourth day was really calm, really peaceful, and I realized something special. I just realized that, well, it didn't matter whether what I was trying with work, all the concerns. Everything just felt so peaceful, so calm. And by the way, I'm not a spiritual faster. I mean, I don't fast for a spiritual reason. It's not like I'm fasting and praying or anything like this. I mean, no, nothing bad against that. Like, it's just that not something I did. I did just for mental clarity. That was my main thing. Not for my body either, because I don't like the fact that I lose a little bit of a weight if I do a very long fast. You don't really lose that much weight. It's just water and things like this for the 3-4 days. Nothing happens. And again, the advice that I'm sharing or my experience, they come from my own research from YouTube's and books. I read books on this subject. Jason Fong wrote a great book, How to Fast. He's a doctor. He's not just somebody who just came from the street and wrote. He is a doctor. He wrote with another doctor, I believe. So that was the main book that I read to actually educate myself when I was doing a long 7-day fast. But anyhow, what's interesting is when you fast, you feel like talking about it. It's not because I'm trying to preach it to anybody or anything like this. It's just that it's a state of mind I'm in, and I'm thinking about how to optimize my body, etc., etc. So it's a great thing to talk about. Perhaps it's easier to do with another friend. So I have a friend in hey, M's joining here. My partner M's joining here as well. She is on YouTube. By the way, I'm on Instagram as well, M. So trying something different this time. So anyhow, so what I was saying is that doing the fasting with friends is great. So I have a great friend in South Australia, and Jack's joining. Hi, Jack. South Australia, and he actually went for a fasting trip, fasting and a hike together with 2 of his other friends. That was fantastic. So they just fasted for 2-3 days. They were on the mountain, they were in the bush. Theirs probably had some spiritual angle to it as well. But anyhow, I just know that doing together also can be really helpful. So anyhow, that was my first experience when I realized that fasting is really helpful doing 4 days. So from that point onwards, every time I'll have a special life trouble of any sort, if I was unorganized, if there was a big business trouble or some life issues that I'm feeling uncomfortable or a little bit out of control, I would simply fast. No prayer, nothing else, just fast. Now, if you feel like praying, great, do it. If you have other practices that you want to do, go do it. But just fasting itself gives you a sense of clarity and calmness. That was incredible for me. So that was the first experience. That's how I got in. And what I'll share with you guys is a bunch of benefits, and then I'll share with you guys some of the highlights. Other times when I found it really helpful, like my big fasts experiences, like the 7-day one, my 10-day one, and right now I'm doing another one for maybe 4 days this time. So yeah, as time went on, I realized that fasting is one of those things that has been preached in every religion, every kingdom, all the history of earth. Fasting was a thing, and the companies really taught us, like they tried to sell things to us. Breakfast was an idea that was sold to us, things like this, like you have to have 3 meals a day and all snacks all day. All of these are actually really well written in the book called How to Fast by Jason Fong. So anyhow, long story short, guys. So let's actually talk about some of the benefits that I personally experienced. First of all, mental clarity. That was incredible. And also energy. Second day onwards, you start to become very energetic when you fast. And I found that if you fast, like the longer the fast, the following days, you're more and more energetic. It's incredible. I believe it has some anti-aging benefits as well. Like these are not like I was not doing it for health benefits. I was mainly doing it for mind benefits, mental benefits. So I don't know as much of the health benefits, but I will read out to you a couple of ones that I've noted earlier. So there's a lot of things that fixes automatically. Personally, I experience good sleep after fast. The day you fast and the day after, you feel you have good sleep. Now, just a quick tip, the way I do it, it's very simple. I just drink water. For the last couple of days, I drank water, but then when I stood up, I felt dizzy. And that's because your body don't have, as far as I'm concerned, your body doesn't have enough sodium. So you have to have salt, some kind of salt. So what I do is I just put some table salt or pink salt in one of these bottles of water, and then I just drink that after the first day or the second day. And that's it really, nothing major. That's what I do. And that really helped. So, and that really helps. After that, you don't feel dizzy. Your body has some, hey, Izzy, great to see you. And congrats, by the way. So yeah, so what I was saying is, so yeah, basically you just put in some water and that's it. So put in some salt and that's it. You don't have to do anything special. And you won't feel dizzy or hungry or anything like this after the first day. At least for me, that was the experience. After the first day, you don't feel that hungry. So, by the way, if you guys have any questions or comments, throw it in because I'm literally just talking to the camera and a few people that I can see at the bottom of this. So yeah, so it really helped my sleep as well. So whenever I fast, my routine gets better. My sleep gets better. And this is a weird, quirky one that I found myself listening to music and dancing to it, like really loud musics. If I didn't listen to music for a while, after fast, I'll have this incredible energy and I would just listen to musics. Generally, after the second day or like after I break the fast and things like this. So that's been another cool experience. Anyhow, so so other than that, fasting also sort of improves your metabolism. So you start to get your taste back in your mouth. Like if you don't feel like eating much and things like this, it really, thanks Jack. Jack just said, hey, great tips. Yes, thanks Jaku. So when you like, sometimes we don't feel hungry, we have bad appetite. Fasting really fixes that. You start becoming hungry, everything tastes good. Your taste buds also resets for a long fast. If you have 3-4 days fast, your taste bud resets. So what this means is you can then, you start to crave healthy food. That's another thing, that's another side effect of fasting, that you start to crave healthy food. Now, I did have a few unhealthy fasts where I wasn't careful. And when I fasted that way, you know, I had running basically, and then I had tummy aches and things like this kind of stuff, a bit of a headache when I go to sleep. But as long as you're drinking enough water and possibly drinking with salt, you should be just fine, right? So those are the ideas. What are some of the other benefits? It definitely, like scientifically, I actually asked ChatGPT and it did say, let me actually read out a couple of points that ChatGPT says, because I'm not an expert on this. It says that it does boost your brain function. In my experience, I didn't know this, but it definitely does give me a sharpness in my mind, right? Inflammation, we talked about that, it reduces inflammation, heart health, it's great for heart health. Actually, Joe Rogan, for those of you who listen to podcasts, Joe Rogan, one of the biggest podcasters in the world, he does intermittent fasting. That's another way you can do fasting. Fantastic way to stay fit. I feel like I get the same benefit of running a marathon, except I get it in 7 days instead of having to train the whole year. And I get it in a few short hours, like just 2-3 days. Whereas my friends who's going to do a marathon, they'd have to prepare for so long. Because you lose a little bit of weight, you just become fit, you just lose some fat, etc. It's fantastic. That's how I found it anyway. So it says supports heart health, promotes autophagy. Yeah, this is another thing. So you would often, people say that, I've listened to YouTube and things like this. People say that you start to, look younger. I don't know about this, but I did feel like lost a little bit about face fat and things like this. That's just because you have less water in your body and things like this. But also, your apparently if you fast, the dead cells dies off and body tries to create new cells and things like this. So that's what's called autophagy. That's a fantastic thing. Like, I don't know how it works. I don't feel it, but obviously it's a good thing. So that's great. So yeah, those are some of the benefits, guys. Also, hormones. I think it definitely changes your testosterone level. I think. I mean, I could feel it anyway. It says that improves your increased growth hormones. So that's fantastic. So muscle growth and that kind of stuff. That's fantastic. Regulates appetite, improves energy. True. Unlike popular belief, I think when you fast, you actually become more energetic. The second day onwards, you are more energetic in your mind, in your body, etc. So that's fantastic. It slows down aging, improves skin health. So that's really good. Reduces risks of chronic disease. So on the book, How to Fast, Jason Fong mentioned that when you fast, if you'd fast like 7 days once a year, and that reduces their cancer risk significantly. That's amazing. So I didn't know about this. So that's what I do. Like at the beginning of the year, I just fast for as many days as I feel comfortable. There's no pressure. There's no rule. It's just something I know. It benefits me. Actually, my mindset, I'll tell you guys what my mindset was when I started. When I started, my mindset was very simple. I want to do the hardest thing possible every year in the beginning of the year, so that the rest of the year, no matter how hard the thing is, I can handle it. So I thought that fasting would be the hardest thing, but it wasn't really that hard of a thing, if I'm being honest. You just don't eat, and that's it. It actually is a benefit. It gives you a whole bunch of other benefits. You have extra time. You're free. Like, you don't use the washroom as much and all that sort of stuff. Like, you sleep better. So it's fantastic. But if you're completely new, I wouldn't recommend this right away. I would say maybe try intermittent fasting. Do your own research. Do some YouTubing and go from there. Maybe that'll help. So yeah. Some of the other benefits here, and then we will go into talking about my experiences. So it says it boosts immunity. So, that's very, very good. Improves sleep quality. I already spoken about this, and encourages mindful eating. That is true. I didn't know this is a fact, but it was my experience that when I fast, I wouldn't want to get on the phone. I wouldn't want to, like when I'm eating. When I'm eating, I wouldn't want to talk. I wouldn't want to listen to something. This is my habit. When I'm normally on my own, I would try and get on a phone or a device or watch something while I'm eating. But after a fast, you don't feel like it. You feel like food is a sacred thing, and I'm going to put it in my body and I need to taste every bit of it. And I used to make simple meals and things like this. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of research about what to do, what to eat after. I mean, personally, I used to eat bone broths, and I would eat bone broth, and I would also drink bone broth and eat avocado and things like this to start off, and then later on I'll start adding some more food after, if I did a very long fast, like a few days, things like this. Anyhow, guys, I hope you're finding this helpful. I'm going a little bit faster this time because I do have to get to a few other things, but I wanted to experiment with this. But I also want to keep this live. I will upload this on different platforms so that we can cut it and use it for other, sharing elsewhere in the future as well. It's a great one thing I found out, guys. If you're having a conversation, if you just simply record this like this, which is what I'm planning to do at the moment. I am motivated right at the moment to do one of these every day and do a little bit of work around YouTube every day, because I'm exploring the platform for different things like marketing purposes, yes, but also I'm actually enjoying the process of creating video, recording some of my experiences, something I've wanted to do for a long period of time. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see some of the earlier videos that were done like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, things like this. But I think somehow everything aligned right at this point where I'm free enough, I have enough resources around me to be able to manage a little bit of time to do this every single day. So that's fantastic. And you get to learn incredible stuff when you're on YouTube. I think it's a fantastic learning mechanism because you're learning a lot of things. You got to know your skill. You need to know how to package your skill. You need to know how to communicate about your skill, and a whole bunch of other things. So I'm not particularly worried if these are not turning out to be the very best shots, because these are only early days. We've got some greater days ahead of us. So we will wait. We will wait for that. So anyhow, I think I've got some data issue here. Anyhow, so continuing on. So my two greatest experiences, like bigger experiences, I did a 7 day fast during COVID. I actually was locked down in a friend of mine's house in in South Australia, Adelaide, and yeah, so it was around Christmas time. I think before or after, I can't remember exactly, but it was like, and I decided that I was gonna fast for 7 days. It was really strange for him, but interestingly, he had a special chemical, like I'm not a chemical, like a watery substance. I don't remember what it was, but it basically had a whole bunch of electrolyte related stuff. It was a clear liquid, and he would just, instead of salt, I would put that into my, or maybe pink salt and that together in my water. And that really made the experience really easy, because I didn't feel hungry. For some reason, I just didn't feel hungry. I think it had the sodium and potassium, which is what you need for to retain water in your cells. So that was fantastic. So I continued that. That was really nice. It was easy. I think towards the end, I kind of lost interest of appetite. I lost appetite and things like this, so I had to slowly, gradually get into it again afterwards. But it was a little bit hard the last day or something. I think the last day was hard. I think it's psychological as well, because you kind of know that I'm nearly at the end. I'm nearly finishing, so you kind of feel like, all right, I'm nearly finishing. So maybe your body starts getting ready to eat and things like this. Yeah, it was a good experience. But after the 7 day fast, I kind of said to myself, I'm not going to do 7 day again, because I think I lost weight or something happened. But then I think the next year or the next year, I can't remember when, it was 1 year after or 2 years after, I decided I was going to challenge myself again, and I was going to fast for 10 days in the beginning of the year. And that was good. That actually worked out well. I realized that it was very, very easy because I was on top of a mountain, and every day I would just do my normal thing, office, everything. I would by the way, one thing I do when I fast is I do minimize my workout and things like this. So I basically just would get up. I would do my work, go to sleep early, things like this. And yeah, somehow the 10 day just passed, and you don't have to use the toilet, which is kind of a weird thing. Like after like 2 or 3 days, you feel like, hang on, I haven't been to the toilet for a few days, and I washroom. So that's kind of a weird experience, but it wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem at all. Things like this. Anyhow, I'm getting really practical here, so hope you guys are not too uncomfortable or anything. But yeah, so overall, that was a great experience. And then I did lose. I feel like when I did a 10 day fast, that was a bit too much. I feel like I lost a little bit of muscle mass and things like this. So I needed some time to pick back up again. The body needed some recovery. But anyhow, I think it's not a competition nor a challenge. It's just something that I do for my own sake, for mental clarity, things like this. Now, one of the things that I recently did is I went away, stayed in a hotel for a couple of nights, and I got some time to do what I want. Generally, when I'm like this away, what I would do is, it's actually, by the way, it's a practice that I have. Once every few months or a couple of times a year, I would just go away and lock myself in for a few days. I don't go anywhere. I don't eat anything. I just do creative stuff. Few years back, it was Twitter, and I just started writing and started learning about writing and doing tweeting and things like this. Elon Musk was going through acquisition of Twitter at that time, so that was a bit of a learning. I still do the same thing today, and what I do is I would lock myself in a room or in a hotel room, and yeah, I just will focus on something creative. So it's been 3 weeks since I've been practicing, or I've been playing around with YouTube, and I feel like the last few days or last week or so particularly gave me a lot of understanding of what you can do with YouTube, and that was really awesome. First of all, this type of stuff, this is really interesting. It was really easy. I mean, I would give you guys a bit of a motivation. You might have something different, not going on YouTube, that you always wanted to do, maybe for years, but you didn't, simply because some kind of a negative belief or limiting belief. You just probably thought, oh, I don't want to do it, whatever. I would say, go just do it. Take an action. Take a 1 minute action. Take a 10 minute action. 1 day action, or even fast. That gives you an extra motivation to jump. Take action as well. So that's really fantastic. So anyhow, guys, overall, it has been a fantastic experience for me doing this. So after the last 2 days, I just came back home, and just resting. So today I'm going to do my normal work. That's going to be my day. And yeah, I know it's not perfect, this whole setup, and I'm probably not as organized with my words and lighting and everything, but that's not the point, guys. The point, well, that I'm here is mainly because the point is to get on the camera, talk, connect, and learn this process. Hopefully over time I get to add and improve a little bit more. And yeah, you guys keep an eye out on my YouTube channel at Bappy Golder. You can search YouTube Bappy Golder, that'll give you that channel. I am experimenting, I'm publishing videos, I'm learning how to do content. I knew about it, but I'm doing it myself. And hopefully down the track, the team will jump in and help me as well. So yeah, that's me. Hopefully some of this was helpful to some of you. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, share it with me. I'll be happy to come and answer some of these things down the track. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your year. Happy New Year to some of you that I haven't spoken to for many months now. I'm still in Bangladesh, traveling along and exploring ideas about YouTube while working remotely. So yeah, it's been nearly a year that I've lived overseas from Australia, but Bangladesh is home also. I was born here, so it's fantastic to be able to be here and do work and yeah, experience a different side of life. Now I can tell you this, guys, food here in Bangladesh is incredible, and I've made some videos. I'm going to bring some of those videos to you guys, hopefully on YouTube as well. So keep an eye out for Bangladeshi food, street food I'm enjoying and things like this. Hopefully it'll bring some experiences to you guys. Anyhow, I'm gonna love you and leave you there. Enjoy the rest of your day, rest of your year. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow again. And hit me up with some of your questions, guys. Take care.